What's up, Philly?
Cutting in the shot, he scores! Here's Simmons turning within a shot, he scores! Wayne Simmons, again, pure determination. Couturier in on goal, he scores! Got a shot up, save, rebound, he's got it! Steve Mason, spectacular work, he scores! Miracle delivered! Giroux gets the game winner.
Now, Andy Robb, Ken Prell, the Philly Hockey Guys.
Yeah!
Yes! Back in the studio.
Episode number 8.
Welcome to the show.
All right, that's no more.
That's your new toy, man. You love that thing.
I do. It's sweet. It's great. You know what's fun? Getting that hip-hop air horn, and you can get an app for it. Just sneak up behind somebody and just blare it.
Which you've done several times to me in the office today.
You're walking in and all of a sudden just... Man, that is. Well, anyway, as we just said, welcome to episode 8 of the Philly Hockey Guys podcast. I'm Andy Robb.
Ken Prell, and we're getting close to the start of the season, a week away.
Oh, my God. Sometimes it feels like it's the longest wait.
Yes.
So we were going to do an episode earlier, but we can be honest with everybody. We had a few technical issues. So
yeah, every once in a while we run into some problems.
Yeah.
Like you just dropping your papers all over the floor.
Excuse me. Very important. We do have a lot of stuff to get to in the show, but before we get that out of the way, first off, shout out to everybody hanging out with us in Reddit Flyers. We love you guys and interacting with us on Twitter. We're also on Facebook now as well, and don't forget, subscribe on iTunes. Here's some fun news.
Oh, what is the fun news?
The official Philly Hockey Guys podcast stickers.
That's right. The first batch came in.
Are in, and they look great. Hard to believe we started this show back in June. Special thanks again to everybody who's, listened to us, checked us out, and we will have opportunities for you to get yourself one of these stickers. We actually did give away a few the other day to some of our friends on Reddit Flyers.
And we're working on putting together some prize packs as well.
Oh.
Some cool stuff on
Wait
the way.
till you see some of the prizes that we have to give away. So coming next week, we're going to do the first Philly Hockey Guys official contest. Now, how this is going to work is we're not just going to open it up to everybody. We're going to take a certain number of qualifiers for like the first week, maybe 5 or 10. All you got to do is just drop us a message saying you want to be a part of the contest. So the first couple people that we get, you're going to be entered in the running to win an awesome prize pack.
Some very, very cool stuff that you don't want to miss out on.
Yeah, some stuff is quite a blast from the past.
Yes.
And
that's it. Don't give too much more away.
It's going to be hard to let some of it go.
I know.
It's some cool flyer stuff. So stay tuned for that. We're certainly really excited.
Yeah,
to
we'll
do this.
have all the details next Wednesday is when we'll drop the next podcast, the big season preview podcast, as we get ready to start the season next Thursday night.
All right, well, let's jump into it right now. Let's get back into hockey, since that's what we do here on the show. We talk about Flyers hockey. They've had 2 preseason games over the last 3 days or so,
Yeah,
let's talk about that.
Well, of course, started off the week losing 3-2 in overtime to the Rangers.
So technically, we still kind of lost in a shootout.
Yes, I mean, it was a lame-ass penalty.
Oh, it was awful. They should have called Nash on that penalty on Voracek.
Yeah. So Lutz got called on the penalty. They lose on a penalty shot. Mace was spectacular in the game, though.
Yeah, I had notes break down for every single period, and the first piece on the notes for every period was just Mason.
Well, he was great. I mean, especially in the first and third, because, I mean, he got peppered with shots in that game. 41 saves on 44 shots. Defense looked really good, I thought, in the second, but kind of broke down a little bit in the third.
Yeah, I think that's something that they definitely need to work on. It seems like they kind of just, fell apart in the third period, which was kind of a symptom that was around a lot of last season. You put up a goal in the first, you put up a goal in the second, and then by the third period, nothing.
Bad habits are hard to break, so hopefully Hakstol will get that taken care of.
And I have nothing but utmost confidence in him. Speaking of Hakstol, he had some comments about the rivalry between the Rangers and Flyers.
Yeah, he said it's a hell of a rivalry. Obviously, it's a preseason game right now, but its intensity blew me away. So, yeah, he's getting a up-close and personal look at it right away.
I think he's definitely enjoying it so far, too.
Yeah, wait till he gets to those Penguins games.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be real fun.
I can't wait for that.
Speaking of rivalries, we had another game the other night against the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah, another loss, 4-2 this time. Nothing really stood out in this game. I mean, Porter and Simmons had the goals for the Flyers. Delzato had a pair of assists.
And now Chris Porter, after scoring that goal, he was placed on waivers, and he's been picked up by the Minnesota Wild.
The Porter era, already over.
Oh, man. Just wrap it up. Pack it in. Season's over. It's done.
Yep, that's it.
No, but I liked that, he played under Hakstol in college, and he got an opportunity to do some stuff with the organization.
Yeah, got a chance to showcase his skills. Good luck to him in Minnesota.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, one of the things that's really stood out this preseason so far has been the power play.
Yes, absolutely. As of the Rangers game, I believe the Flyers were 7 for 16 on the power play, which put them first in the league in terms of just preseason.
Yeah, now the last couple games has kind of tailed off a little bit, but I saw a couple comments out there saying that ever since Ghost got sent down, that the power play has kind of slumped a little bit.
I'm not going to attribute that to just losing one player. I mean, a well-oiled machine isn't perfect all the time.
I think what you're seeing out there is a little frustration that people want to see these young guys up already and are tired of the same old defensemen that have been around for the past couple of years, but I trust the plan.
Yeah, I'm not really overtly concerned about it, and I don't think it should be a cause for concern for anybody at this point, you know?
No, especially considering last year they were third overall in the NHL on the power play.
Yeah, and they look great.
So
that was the thing too. I was wondering, new coach, new system, is that going to take a few steps back? And pretty much no, it hasn't. It's
so
pretty
far,
much more of the same.
It looks great. So hopefully that continues into the regular season.
Yeah, that's definitely a confidence builder to see them still, working that hard on the power play. I mean, when you got Giroux basically leading the whole charge with that, good things happen.
So what are your impressions of Hakstol so far?
So far?
Yeah.
So good. I mean, I have no complaints, really. We talked about that in the last episode. You got to make a good first impression, and I think he certainly did with that first game that they played in Allentown.
Yeah, I know. I ask because there's a great article in the New York Times.
Wait. Did you just use the term good article and New York Times together in one sentence?
Yes, very
when
good article
happen?
on Hakstol. Apparently when Hakstol comes to town.
Wow.
One of the things they mentioned in the article was that it doesn't appear that Hakstol is having a great time in the NHL so far. And Hakstol said, now rest assured, the guy is having a great time. When it comes down to it, at work, he's just all business. And that's what you want.
That's all that you want.
Yeah. So, I like
that. I want that kind of dynamic with a coach.
And the players so far are all buying in. Wayne Simmons says, so far, I wouldn't even be able to tell he was a college coach. He's got all the qualities of an NHL coach. Steve Mason, he's weighed in. Hack's been one of the top coaches in hockey for a number of years, and so far, I think he's made a great transition to the game here. He's taken over the team and put a system in place that we want to stick to. He's run an extremely high-tempo, high-intensity type of camp. Guys are receptive to that, and we're trying to start off the season on the right foot.
Oh, what more could you ask for? That's great
so
praise.
There's two team leaders, praising him so far, and I love the fact that we're talking about getting off to a great start.
Absolutely.
I mean, the last 2 years have been disasters to start the season.
Starting 0-2, 0-3, what have you. But I think that if we do wind up dropping that first game to Tampa, I think it'll pick up after that. I really do. I think that this season will be more of a invigorated start because that kind of matches the attitude and the atmosphere that's kind of created with this team right now. I mean, you can feel the energy.
Well, you can also see it on the ice as well.
Sure.
I mean, in these games, one of the criticisms of this team over the past couple of years have been they've been kind of slow.
Yeah.
I don't see that this year. I mean, they seem to stay with the Rangers the other night as far as pace goes, and that wasn't happening last year, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. I'm even more excited for the season to start, and it's going to be a long few days before the whole thing comes together.
Yeah. Driving me nuts already waiting for it. So as we wind down here on the preseason, final roster is coming into shape here. We had a couple of releases or waivers yesterday with Porter, we already talked about, and Colin McDonald also getting waived.
Andrew McDonald?
No, Colin McDonald.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, Andrew is still on the team.
Damn it. So with that Porter move, does that mean that Scott Lawton is going to make the team this year? What do you think?
I think so. I mean, again, the other night he got called for a cheap penalty up in New York.
Yeah, that was a weak call.
But, I mean, the rest of that game, he played fantastic. He's quick. He gives the Flyers that needed speed that we were talking about a little earlier. I think he has to make the team.
He's got a great hockey sense, and he's really good at making plays. So, yes, I will agree with you. I mean, that's why I suggested it. There's that beacon of hope. I think that Lawton is going to make the team. And you know what? The guy has worked hard for it. He deserves it, and I really hope that works out in his favor with this season.
So let's talk about some of the other roster moves that could be made here over the next week or so. A lot of rumors about the Flyers and possibly making some trades. Hakstol won't say anything. Big shock there. It's been a kind of confusing week, I think, with some of the comments that we've seen out of the Flyers, especially when it comes to the Schenn brothers.
Yes, very interesting. A lot of speculation going on in that. Namely, what really kind of started that whole thing is when Hakstol said Braden's been okay in an interview. And then what else happened?
Well, then, of course, we've played a couple games since then, and Braden continues to be one of the highlights for the Flyers in this preseason. He's got 3 goals and an assist, 4 points so far. Then Hakstol, after the Ranger game, said that part of the allure of Braden is that he's a guy who can play all 3 positions. You go through a long year, guys get banged up. You need a guy here or a guy there. He's a versatile guy.
Yeah, good utility guy.
So now all of a sudden it seems like he's changed his mind a little bit on Braden Schenn. Or is he trying to drive up the value?
Or is he trying to motivate him properly? I don't know. I mean, none of us know. We don't know what's going on inside that guy's head.
But what do you think? Does he stay with the team this year?
Yeah, I think so. Unless, something significant comes around, or I don't see them making any kind of real moves where they're going to try to acquire somebody else at this point. I think they're going to try to ride it out with Schenn and see what happens. And the same goes for Luke, too.
You think Luke sticks around as well?
Possibly. I mean, he hasn't looked terrible. I mean, yeah, he's still a little slow, but over the past few games, I mean, he's putting out hits. I mean, he looks decent enough to fill out your bottom pairing.
Yeah, I just don't know where he goes on this team. I mean, he's on the last year of his deal, making $3.5 million this year. Makes him attractive, I think, near the trade deadline. We've talked about this already, several times. But when you look at the defense, I mean, the Flyers have right now 8 D-men on one-way contracts.
Well, I mean, 1 year left. See what happens.
Well, I think one of the guys that they kind of looked as almost a replacement is Gudas.
Yeah.
What do you think of him so far?
He's been pretty good. I mean, he makes plays. The guy can hit, that's for sure.
I guess I was surprised. BroadsheetHockey.com said that Gudas has been a major disappointment so far.
I don't know. He just came off a knee surgery, too, 6 months ago.
Yeah, he's already back
it's
playing,
fine.
So you're judging him after, 4 or 5 games. I don't think that's really fair.
No, I don't
to say
think
he's
it
been
is
a
either.
major disappointment.
No.
I think it goes to your point, though. They probably hold on to Luke Schenn here to start the season.
So, I mean, really, time is only going to tell. I mean, we just got to wait it out. Everyone's saying it. It's the same thing. Patience. Wait it out. Shut up. Make a sandwich and just calm down. Hakstol's going to figure out these roster moves. He's going to figure out his lineup. And Hakstol's going to do everything he can to help make his job easier. I'm not concerned about anything in terms of personnel on the team at this point.
I just think it's been such a dismal time for Philadelphia sports. I mean, we thought the Eagles were going to be the Super Bowl contending team. So far, that does not look like the case.
Oh, and the Union lost last night again. Which is such a heartbreaker because they really came close again.
And our non-existent baseball team this year. So now all the hope is kind of being shifted towards the Flyers because we know the Sixers are going to be garbage again. So I think people want to believe in this team, and when they see the same guys on the team, I think it makes it a little tougher. So we kind of need to see it to believe it kind of thing.
Sometimes, it's like we said all the way back on episode 1 or 2 or something like that. If you've missed any of those episodes, by the way, subscribe on iTunes today and also SoundCloud and check them out. We're also on YouTube as well. We said back then, sometimes maybe that's all that, certain players need is a change in the wind, a change in coaching, in guidance, in mentorship.
And philosophy.
Exactly. And you look at how LeCavalier's been playing quite well. Not great.
He started
not
off
terrible.
the preseason very well, but has kind of come back down to earth. And he's another guy that I wonder now if we're looking at if he's going to be, a guy who's going to be a healthy scratch most nights.
Craig Berube is not coach anymore, so that's not going to happen.
Well, Hakstol basically came out the other day and said that he has no idea where Vinny fits in on this team.
You should make Holmgren answer for all those questions. Bring him down.
This is your mess. You clean it up.
Hey, speaking of Homer, he was approached by Danny Briere the other day about getting a job within the organization.
Briere went to Homer about a job?
Well, because Homer's the president of the team, of the club.
Figured that you'd get a big contract out of Homer. He's not going to get that out of Hakstol.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. He's going for the golden goose, I think.
Briere just signed a 5-year deal to sell popcorn in the stands.
Where would you see him as a place in this organization?
He's expressed some interest in broadcasting. That would be, maybe a place we see him on, maybe doing some post-game live stuff.
If he's listening right now, you're more than welcome to join our team.
Anytime.
On the show.
Anytime.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it'll only cost you one fist pump. And maybe sign something for me. And I'm fine.
No, but I think that would be a good fit for him. I mean, I'm not sure what interest he has in being a scout. That's a lot of time on the road. One of the reasons why he retired.
Exactly.
Right. So I think, again, if you're going to be post-game live, you'll be in the studio. You'll still be in Philadelphia. So I think that makes the most sense.
I'd agree. So another thing, only time's going to tell, but it's very exciting to know that Danny Briere already, a few months after retiring, he's already looking to the Flyers for a job. I think that's awesome.
And Timonen was at the skate zone the other day.
I was about to say, speaking of Flyers alumni, our own Finnish god of defense showed up at skate zone in Voorhees rocking a sweet pair of denim shorts. He is completely used to living in South Jersey.
Yeah. But he met with Hakstol, and Hakstol said he has a job whenever he wants one.
Yeah, he said this coming year he's going to focus on his family, but then after that wraps up, they're going to start talking more about it. So, man, is that amazing that you've got, within 48 hours of each other, you have Danny Briere going to Homer looking for a job, and then you have Timonen actually at the practice watching everything.
Yeah, with a job offer already on the table.
That's so awesome. In fact, the quote from Ron Hextall about it was actually pretty awesome. He says this, quote, "I kind of view Chemo as a flyer. Sorry, Blackhawks fans and maybe Predator fans." I love that, maybe Predator fans.
Is there a such thing?
But I think he's a flyer.
He absolutely is a flyer. I mean, this team was awful when they traded for him. He was part of the reason they turned this thing around a couple years ago. And, of course, was a big part of that cup run in 2010.
Absolutely. He sure was. And, he's always welcome in Philadelphia. And that's also true for him, too. Why not? Hey, Chemo Timonen, if you want to come join the show, too, you're more than welcome.
It's just going to cost you an autograph.
That's it. Come and join the Philly Hockey Guys podcast. So a lot of stuff has been going on over this offseason. Try to cover as much as we can over the last few shows, but we're really just gearing up for this upcoming season. We're going to try to put out as many shows as possible. Like we talked about in the last edition of the podcast, we said, we'd like to do some short summaries, previews for each and every game. We're going to try to get as many as we can throughout the season. And really what we're looking for is a lot more interaction, too, from you guys as well as from us. So if you have any questions, suggestions, anything like that, or if there's something you'd like to talk about on the show, message us. And coming soon, hopefully we'll be able to do that call-in segment. We'll throw out a number for the radio station. You can call in and actually be a part of the show.
Yeah, just getting a show up and running has been a challenge in itself these last couple weeks.
I got to tell you, though, ever since June, this has been a great time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
When we first posted the very first episode of the Philly Hockey Guys podcast back in June, we didn't know, who would be listening.
If anybody would be listening.
Exactly. And now we're finding, guys, we haven't really shared this with you yet, but we're finding, as we look at our numbers on SoundCloud, which are doing pretty well, you can follow us there, we're getting people listening from all over the place. One of the most popular cities that listens to this podcast is Winnipeg.
I don't know how to explain that.
Well, when you have the Jets in your
I guess so.
Team,
yeah.
You gotta step it up a little bit. But yeah, Winnipeg, one of the top cities that listens to the show. So
thank you, Winnipeg.
Thank you, Winnipeg. Coming soon, we'll have a new feature, Winnipeg Wednesday. And there are some other places all over the place that people are listening to us from England, UK.
Yep, France.
Yes, France as well. We actually got a great message from somebody that started following us on our Twitter account at Philly Hockey Guy, of course, because there is no S. I'd like to tell you about Patrice. Patrice, I'm sure he is listening right now, and if so, bonjour.
Look at you.
That's pretty much all I know. He said, he messaged us first initially on Twitter in our inbox. We always reply to stuff, by the way. He says, hey, just listen to episode 7.5 and just want to say that I like very much the job that you make. Félicitations from France. Vive Pied78. Bellemare fan.
Of course.
And he says, keep going, guys. So we said, we asked him, we're like, where are you listening from? Patrice is a Flyers fan that lives in Bordeaux, France.
Now, how does that happen?
Well, we'll get into it. He said that he used to work for the team for Bordeaux called the Boxers de Bordeaux. And he says this, I'm pretty alone in supporting the great Flyers here, but this team will always be in my heart. Keep giving us news from Philly and may the podcast be successful. Sorry for the delay in answering and the quality of my English, but it's pretty good.
Sounds fine to me.
Great English. And he goes on to say, it's 9:30 p.m. here, and my team, the Boxers de Bordeaux, is playing a game. So he was actually watching hockey while listening to our podcast and then messaged us all the way from France.
Fantastic.
So we asked that. We said, what made you want to be a Flyers fan? And Patrice goes on to say this, and I'll quote him on this. He says, when I was in school in 1990, 13 to 14 years old, a friend of mine was playing hockey, and he said, I loved watching the game because of the speed and technique it was asking to make moves. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Only one channel submitted hockey games on television, and my parents could pay access to this private network. And I first saw Mellenby, Recchi, etc., and I fell in love with those guys and those jerseys.
Very cool.
And he keeps going on to say, then came the Legion of Doom.
Of course.
Guy knows what he's talking about. And he said, many famous hockey players went in Philly. Gagne, Briere, Yager.
He's mentioning all your favorites.
He is. That's not by accident. You guys have a great team. I found you by searching podcasts on hockey in Philly, but many of those I found weren't active for long, and you came along. Keep going on. It's a pleasure. From Patrice in Bordeaux, France. Merci beaucoup.
So cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
That makes up not getting paid. It does. No, it seriously does. Knowing that people are also listening to us in Sweden as well, England, France.
Well, I mean, from the beginning, we're two fans.
Yeah. I mean,
we just happen to have access to a couple microphones.
Yeah, I wish everybody that listens to the show could have hung out with Ken and I before we started the show, because you guys would have had a great time at our office, because we would always just talk about it. And we decided, one day to make a podcast. And to know that, somebody like Patrice is all the way over in France listening to the show, enjoying it, that's amazing.
All right, well, before we wrap up this episode, anybody else we need to give a shout-out to?
Actually, yeah, it took a while for us to give a shout-out to this, but this is a fantastic video compilation made by one of our friends on Reddit, Flyers_Bilbo Fraggins, which I love his name, by the way. He made an awesome compilation video of the season matchup between the Philadelphia Flyers and the Pittsburgh Penguins, set to the song If You Like Pina Coladas by Rupert Holmes.
Which is very cool.
So it's pretty awesome.
Yep.
If you haven't checked that out, we will post it on Twitter. But, of course, most of the people that are hearing this right now probably checked it out already on our Flyers. So if you did, check it out again.
It's an absolute perfect way to get you ready for the season.
And actually, since we're on the subject of user-made videos, English Flyers fan, that's his name. I'm assuming he might be listening in England based on his name.
Okay.
He made a compilation of the Philadelphia Flyers, getting you pumped up for the next upcoming season. It's pretty awesome. English Flyers fan. We'll try to post that one, too. Told him we'd give him a shout-out. He says he listens to the show, and he's excited that everybody's responding to his video well, and it's awesome. It does get you pumped up. So, English Flyers fan, good job on that. Also, another real quick announcement. Something else we've been working on coming soon. Hopefully, we're going to be sitting down for an interview with Mikey from orangeandblackpack.com. He's going to be calling the show for an interview to talk about his awesome website, orangeandblackpack.com. Follow him on Facebook, and what he thinks about the upcoming Flyers season. So stay tuned for that. That's coming at some point. We just got to get this season off and rolling first.
Only a week away.
Woo!
All right, for Andy, Rob, I'm Ken Prell. We are the Philly Hockey Guys. See ya.
Now would be a good time to use the air horn, but I don't have it. Where is it? Somebody give me an air horn.
Well, boys, this has been real educational and all, but now let's part with that old EA Sports saying. Get the out of my building.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like the Philly Hockey Guys podcast page on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Philly Hockey Guy and subscribe on iTunes, TuneIn, and SoundCloud.